How do I set up MIDI clock sync? If you are looking to synchronize your electronic music gear, you might be wondering how to set up MIDI clock sync. This process is essential for keeping your devices in perfect time. Let's break it down step by step. First, you need to decide which device will be the master clock. This master device will send out timing signals, known as MIDI clock messages, to the other devices, which will act as slaves. The master keeps everything in sync, ensuring that all connected gear plays together seamlessly. Begin by connecting your MIDI devices. You can use traditional 5-pin MIDI cables or USB MIDI connections, depending on what you have. Make sure everything is physically connected before moving on. Next, open your Digital Audio Workstation, often referred to as a DAW or your hardware sequencer. Here, you will set the device that will act as the master clock source. This device is responsible for generating the MIDI clock signal. Now, it is time to configure the slave devices. You will need to set each of these devices to receive external MIDI clock. Look for options labeled MIDI sync or clock source and set them to external or MIDI clock. In your DAW, you may need to enable MIDI clock output, as it is not always on by default. If you are using USB connections, ensure that the correct MIDI driver is selected to allow clock transmission. Once everything is set up, when the master device plays, it sends MIDI clock messages that include tempo information and transport commands like start, stop, and continue. The slave devices will follow this timing, synchronizing their sequencers, arpeggiators, and effects to the master's tempo. This setup allows you to synchronize various devices, such as drum machines, synthesizers, and software instruments, ensuring they all run in perfect time. For instance, you can have your DAW as the master sending clock signals to a hardware drum machine and a modular synthesizer, making sure their patterns align rhythmically. For a reliable MIDI clock sync, consider a few additional tips. Use quality MIDI interfaces and cables to reduce latency and jitter. If you are using USB MIDI, check that your DAW and hardware support MIDI clock over USB and that the correct drivers are installed. To test synchronization, start and stop the master device and see if the slaves follow immediately. If you have a more complex setup, you might want to consider dedicated MIDI clock generators or sync boxes to improve timing accuracy. Lastly, remember that MIDI clock sync is different from MIDI timecode. MIDI clock focuses on tempo and transport control, while MIDI timecode is more about precise timecode positioning. By following these steps, you can achieve tight synchronization across all your electronic music gear, leading to cohesive performances and productions.